buyacouplecars.com. Stock numbers G1211492, G1877747, and G1965599.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
We're going to get up to 87 for a high temperature today, but we bring in a chance for some showers and thunderstorms this evening into tonight. Some of those could be strong to severe, with large hail and strong wind gusts being the main threats. We'll drop down to 67 tonight, maybe a morning shower tomorrow with a high of 86. Then we'll get up to 90 for a high on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Aaron Dowda for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley.
Defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror, number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Happy Monday here at 93.7 The Ticket. It is Bock in the Blackshirt, and we are here to fill in your 1 to 3 role. Hey, Bock, how you doing, my man?
Hey, not too bad. It was a great 4th of July weekend. Hopefully everybody had fun, and I'm feeling refreshed.
Oh, man, the 4th of July. You know, I moved from South Lincoln to downtown Lincoln, Bock, and it's different when you compare fireworks.
What's the difference? Now I'm intrigued.
Well, on the south side, it's like probably let's just say like cops and robbers, bang, bang.
Okay.
Not on downtown. It's like World War III down there.
Okay.
Bock, I never heard so many firecrackers in my life. Like they didn't give up. It's like they never stopped. Like it was from the time it got dark, probably to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Like my dogs didn't come outside for like a whole day. And I was kind of mad because I know my dogs. If they don't go outside, they're going to use the bathroom in the house.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to drag them outside. and it was just, it was a bad feeling because, not a bad feeling, but for them it was. But for me, it was like, man, do they ever give up?
No.
It's like they spent their whole check on fireworks.
Yeah. Did you buy any yourself?
No.
Not this year?
Not this year. This is the first year I didn't pop fireworks. I think I'm getting a little too old for it, and plus I try to be smart with my money.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of the reasons I didn't pop firecrackers. I got some stuff we want to play right now. Bock, go ahead and play it.
All right, here we go.
Most that I was working on is the pain and the tightness, and that is working as well. So what we're doing with this radiation treatment is working wonders compared to what I have been through 6 to 7 years ago. But like I said, we're going to take each step, as we go, and stay confident about what we're doing and have trust in the people that are doing the work for you. Get blood from you. You got the hemoglobin people coming in trying to give you blood. You got another group that's coming in and trying to take blood. So how you know what to do? I just want to be able to get out of here without any ailment, about any other BS that's going on in my body, man. It's just weird. You got 15 people coming in here trying to do something or take something from you with limited answers on what you're asking. They're just doing shit. Oh, it's in your benefit. Oh, it's in well, why you can't tell me how is it in my benefit?
All right, y'all. Former Nebraska basketball player Larry Florence passed away Saturday. He was 49 years old. I've been knowing Larry since we was 9 years old. Grew up with him in the Columbus, Georgia, Phoenix City area, which is probably like, let's say, Council Bluff, Omaha. Larry played at Central High School. Great athlete, great person. If you knew Larry and you knew his story, he was a battler. He fought hard for his life for over a decade. Unfortunately, it came to an end Saturday, and Larry will be missed. That's one thing for sure. Hopefully, us at the University of Nebraska and the state of Nebraska will help carry Larry's legacy on and probably try to hope to get some kind of scholarship benefit for Larry down in Phoenix City, Alabama. Larry would truly be missed. Larry was that type of friend that everybody wanted to be friends with here at the University of Nebraska when we went to school. Yes, he was a 4-year starter on the basketball team, helped them to the NCAA tournament in 98 and won the NIT in 96. I just don't know what I can say too much that Larry wouldn't say himself, but to keep Coach Flo in his family in y'all prayers. Larry dedicated his life to coaching youth basketball when he retired from playing 8 years overseas. He had a rare cancer blood disorder. He was just a good person. And I'm not going to sit here and weep about it because I did a lot of that Saturday because that was somebody I knew besides football and basketball. This was somebody I grew up with probably minutes across the water from each other. And he was like family to me. So, if we can, just pause for a minute of silence and say something good about Larry, I thank y'all for that. All right, Bock. So, we got it today. Bock is here today.
Yeah.
Today's the day.
It's here.
It's here. EA Sports College Football 26 is officially out.
Released.
The deluxe edition.
Did you get it?
No. I don't have $99 for it, Bob.
Okay.
I'll wait. I will wait till the 10th of July, and when it be $49.
Oh, really?
So yeah, the regular version comes out July 10th. So
just a few days away.
Yeah, a few days away. They told her. Believe it or not, Deion Sanders and Bill Belichick declined to be in the game.
Oh, man. Bill Belichick's always ducking the games. He wasn't in the Madden franchise when he's an NFL coach. Now he's extending that here.
Yeah, so
that's disappointing.
I know it's kind of disappointing, but I mean, they probably weren't going to pay him as much as they getting paid now.
Well, I've seen, and it's also interesting because I've seen different like screenshots and videos of it. Is that Matt Rule, like the first one I saw, it didn't look all that, it didn't look very good for him. And then I saw another one. It looked like they might have updated him, maybe due to some backlash about what he looked like there. So we'll see. At least Matt Rule's in the game. And the coaches last year, for what it's worth, weren't in the game. But now they are, like you said, maybe outside of a select few.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to play it. I mean, Matt Rule, I don't care what you look like in the game. I know what you look like in person. So, that's one thing that doesn't blame me. I know a couple of players was jacked up in it.
Some faces.
Yeah, it's just some faces and body wises. They wasn't looking like they wanted to look like. But, I'm kind of, I don't know if this is going to be a top seller like the first one that came out, because we waited 20 some years for this one, or how many ever years it was before we got to this one.
Yeah.
But this one probably be the most advanced one. And I'm gonna wait and I'm just gonna get it on the 10th.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spend all that $99 because, first of all, I'm not gonna play it that long. If it doesn't pique my interest like Call of Duty, then I'll be right back on Call of Duty.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually played a little bit of last year's version over the weekend at my buddy's house. I don't have the system for it, so I didn't get it last year. But yeah, it's entertaining. It's fun. There are some stuff that needs to be fixed a little bit from it. Like I've been saying, I love the NCAA 14 so much, which was the last version they had of it, that I played for 10 years leading up to last year, that I still kind of like that game a little bit better. Now, there's certain things like a guy getting sacked and launch the ball down 70 yards and with perfect accuracy. Sometimes it can be frustrating, but that's the life of video games. So we'll see. I mean, I think it's just great to have it back in general, especially for kids, right? I mean, because when you're younger and you have that extra time, I mean, that's how I learned about the rosters, not just college football, but NBA and MLB and NFL. And it might not be perfect, right? Some of the rankings might be thrown off a little bit. It's kind of funny. I was going through with Adam Carricker the other day about how certain front offices use video game rankings in the past, which is a little bit silly to go that far.
Yeah,
when you think about trades or re-signing people.
Yeah.
But it's just for the information. And then how cool is it to be a video game character if you're on the team, right? And I know you've been through that. Obviously, the games back then weren't quite as good, but and it didn't have your name on it. It said number 43 or whatever. But to actually have a character in a video game, I mean, that's got to be something that most people aren't ever going to get to do.
Well, video games that came, they came a long way since probably 30 years ago. Things that you might see new in this college football 26, when the crowd goes crazy and you're playing a away team, the screen disappears, like the playbook. Road to Glory, you have the hat thing, hat ceremony when you do that.
About time they brought that in.
Just so many different ways. You can start off from high school and go all the way up, and then somehow you can transition from college to Madden. So there's some ways people do that. I'm not gonna play Madden in both of them in probably the same month. But Madden comes out later on in the month, and they have a deluxe where you can buy the college football and Madden. A bonus thing. But, I'm just happy to have something new to play. I wish I could find one of these kids that on the football team that don't want their copy. I guess I'll give Buddha a call or one of these kids to see if I can give them $75 for their copy. At least I'm giving to the NIL fund for them.
Yeah, now have we been able to see the Nebraska roster yet? Because there's been little leaks and a couple players' names, but that's always the most intriguing thing to me too, is to see how is Nebraska's roster and certain players that we like going to be represented in the game and for people to look at. So I don't know if we've seen that yet, but that'll come out in the next couple of days. That'll be exciting.
I'm going to see if we can get it right now here, Bock.
Yeah, if it comes out today, maybe somebody has screenshotted it or found a way to get that information out there. Because it's it's interesting to kind of look at the state of a program, even through video games, because I go back to that era, right? When Nebraska had, when they had the last game, it was the Bo Pelini era, right? 2014, 2013, the years before that. And you had players, certain guys, and of course, in that time, they had guys that would get drafted pretty high and, sometimes a large class. You think about the 2010 class. And so you'd have guys ranked in the 90s and upper 80s. And it was just, it almost, just kind of looking back at the rosters, it was almost shocking to me, even though I lived through it, to go back and see how highly ranked some of those teams were compared to where we are now, and thinking, man, it would be nice to have some of those. And again, it's not necessarily, it shouldn't be all that shocking because we've lived through the 10 years. We know what it's looked like since then. We know the battle to get back to that relevancy and to get back to competing. So it shouldn't be that shocking, but it is a little bit when you see it in the numbers. So that'll be interesting, and a reminder too. As we look at this team and maybe the rankings aren't that high, whatever, for the video game to begin with, but I kind of go back to the start of the Bo Pelini era, where there was talent certainly with Callahan, and we knew that at the time, but I don't think we knew how much he was leaving for Bo. And so you might have kind of a different view of what things are going on now from the Scott Frost era to the Matt Rule, obviously, but there's different things in play with the transfer portal and all that, is that it can kind of happen pretty quickly. With Bo Pelini's team, obviously from the 2008 team, did pretty well, had a few blowout losses, but then it finished up beating Clemson. And from there, you're thinking, this Sue guy is pretty spectacular, but is he alone? And as we found out through 2009 and 2010, he was nowhere near alone. I mean, they had great players surrounding him, and whether that be on that 2009 defense that we kind of go back to, of course, bled into 2010. You still had some impressive players on offense with those offenses as well. With the Mir Abdullahs and Rex Burkheads and Kenny Bells and Quincy Nunez and all that. So, I look at this, and I did this list with Nick the other day about like who has the most potential on this team. And so there's a lot of guys with a lot of potential entering the year that maybe, hopefully, come, this time next year, Nebraska will have several guys rated, 88 to 90, 92, 95, whatever it might be.
Yeah. So EA Sports gives Nebraska offense that overall rating of 85, ranking them 6th in the Big Ten. This rating places them in the top 25 in the game at number 24. The Husker offense strength is attributed to a mix of new explosion playmakers and returning stars like Dylan Riola. Now, it also says Nebraska defense was not ranked in the top 25 unit. The Husker was left off the top 100 overall rated players in the game for the second straight season. However, they will face 16 of the top 100 players from 6 opposing teams, including players from Michigan and Penn State. Nebraska is one of the teams that will have a light and drone show included in their pregame run out. That's pretty good.
I wonder if they get the rights to Sirius in there. Maybe they'll do the whole thing. That would be quite entertaining. And then the light show is supposed to be after the third quarter, right? I mean, maybe they got that wrong.
Well, they really don't show. Let's say that they really don't show a halftime mode in the game. Because it's a video game, Bock. Nobody. Nobody wants to sit through that anyway. You always hit the select button to skip that part. But to have that at the beginning of the game. I mean, mostly I'm gonna pick a lot of teams to just start it over just to see their intro.
Yeah.
Probably like Virginia Tech. See if we can get a whiteout in Penn State. Oklahoma. Just coming out in the Sooner Boomer thing. But Raffi. I just want to see different stuff in this game, and it's going to be fun to see. So hopefully we'll be able to check that out. Come here. What's the day? Monday? Probably Wednesday or Thursday. I'll probably get the game.
Now let me ask you: when you played, did they? I mean, obviously the video games were different back then. Do you remember kind of looking through those games that people argue about rankings when in your locker room, or was that a little ahead of that time?
I think it was a little ahead of us. The only thing we wanted to do was just really get out and just play.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was one of the fun things that that we wanted to do was just play the game. I mean, basically, when you got alone and you play by yourself, you always play with yourself. I think I played with myself all the time, especially on defense. I think I had to put myself in some plays because of defensive style. Because some of the different defenses. So
yeah.
But when I did put myself in, about 10 tackles, 8 sacks. I try to load my player up.
Now you're 90 because in the 95 game, I don't even know if were you in that game because it would you would have been the JUCO and maybe unknown of at that time.
Yeah, I had to put myself in as a starter.
Yeah, but by 96, you're probably a pretty highly rated player.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, but we was too much. See, we didn't play we didn't play sports games like that when we was in college. We was too busy playing stuff like Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, that's a good game of that time.
Track and field with the pin top, if you know anything about that. I talked to
only you guys talking about it.
Yeah, I talked to Octavius McFarland for like 38 minutes Sunday, and we talked about old video games and how we used to skip school and play video games till it's almost time to practice and stuff. And me and Tavy, we had a good conversation. We just not reminisce, but we talked about the 30-year reunion coming up. We talked about, I asked him how guys was doing that stayed close to him on Warfield, Joe Walker. He has a birthday coming up in August. I got a birthday coming up in August. So, and one thing I found out about Octavius and Grant Wistrom, they have the best overall record at Nebraska. Not Rashawn. Octavius only lost 2 games.
Okay, try to run me through this because Rashawn was what 90? Was he 92?
93.
So 93 through 97.
Yeah. He lost 3 games.
But Grant Wistrom was what?
94.
94. Okay.
Octavius was 94.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
He didn't
because they didn't redshirt.
Yeah. So he came out in 94. They undefeated 94, undefeated 95. Lost 2 games in 96.
Okay, yeah.
Undefeated in 97.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So he's got a couple of people that's got better records than him.
Yeah. And they're 3-time national champs as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, stop talking about that 93 class. So, yeah.
Take a shot while he's gone. But this is the captain here on 93.7. Hey, well, you're coughing.
You got to go back. This is Bock in the Blackshirt.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, good thing you coughed.
Try it again, Bock.
Yeah. This is Bock in the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. Getting used to the old ways, but here we are now. It's July. It's a new month. Let's get into it. This is Bock in the Blackshirt. We will be back after this.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Hopefully you and I agree that you should do everything you can to save your marriage. Divorce is hard, expensive, and its outcome is usually not all you hope for. However, when doing everything has failed, when divorce remains as your last option, consider Cordell & Cordell as your first choice to help you through the divorce process to a better place on the other side. We've been a partner men can count on for more than 30 years. Let us be that partner for you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 402-858-3220. That's 402-858-3220. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln. 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska 68508.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Every home is different. Every family is different. So when it's time for a new heating and cooling system, why not get what fits you best? Get the perfect fit with Bryant. Maybe you need higher efficiency, better humidity control, increased warranty, or all the bells and whistles. Bryant provides options. Options in warranty, features, comfort, and efficiency while maximizing savings. Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111, or visit BryantLincoln.com. Bryant, whatever it takes.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list, new Canyons at $8,500 off list, new body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at cobblecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G1877747, and G1965599.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grata Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grata offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grata Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
All righty, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bock and the Blackshirt here at your 1 o'clock hour in Lincoln, Nebraska. Bock, I got a good question for you and the people out there in Ticket Land.
I'm ready for it.
All right. Which game can Nebraska football win as an underdog and lose as a favorite? You got a lot of games to pick from, Bob.
Yeah, a lot of games on the schedule. So trying to think about which ones they would be favored in. Penn State's the one that obviously I think a lot of people are worried about or thinking that would be one that would be tough to overcome. So I could see that. I think Minnesota's technically favored in that game right now, which I would think that would be definitely one that Nebraska could get over. Michigan certainly feels like one Nebraska could win.
That's my pick right there.
Yeah. So,
Michigan.
I mean, I'd probably go with those two.
Michigan. I think Michigan is probably the one we can get. I mean, kind of scared of the Penn State just because, you know, these guys are playing in a big road game. And when you talk about an environment with 100,000+ fans and all white, it's probably not going to be pretty enough for. What time of year is that? Is that like November?
Michigan will be September. Or
Penn State.
Oh, Penn State. Yeah, Penn State will be November 22nd.
Oh, it might be cold in Penn State.
It's going to be cold.
Yeah. And the ones I say lose as a favorite. That was a good one. You stole that Minnesota one. I know you love PJ Fleck. Roll your boat.
That's right.
Northwestern.
Good pick.
Watch out for a team like them. I think we blew them out a year or two ago when we played them. That coaching staff has really turned that program around, especially after Pat Fitzgerald lost, and that coach ended up getting Big Ten Coach of the Year.
Yeah, they did well 2 years ago. Last year, not as much.
Yeah,
we'll
but
see.
you know, I mean, he has to rebound and he has to get better. I mean, he can get better. I mean, you've seen that from play one. I mean, even if it's the players playing their hearts out from losing a lot of stuff, but I think watch out for teams like Northwestern.
I like that too, because the difference between Northwestern's good teams and bad teams with Pat Fitzgerald didn't seem to be all that much. One year they'd go 9-3, the next year they'd go 3-9, and you know it wasn't a lot of the 9-3 years. They just kind of won. You know, obviously you win more games than not, but they just kind of won a few more plays in those games. They weren't blowing a whole lot of people out. It's not like they had this huge, transfer portal class or something that Northwestern had all these All-Americans or anything. So it was kind of interesting, and that's why you wonder about them this year. Are they closer to what they were 2 years ago or last year, or is it similar there in Evanston that as it was under Pat Fitzgerald, where kind of throw out the records, you're going to get a pretty good Northwestern team. And we know with Nebraska Northwestern historically, they've played Nebraska well. Some other games that I think stick out, certainly if Nebraska's the favorite at UCLA, that for obvious reasons. UCLA did beat Nebraska last year, kind of started a minor panic, maybe at least the movement as far as the offensive coordinator bringing Dayton Holgerson and all that. So that one would be interesting. Nico Iamaleava will be in charge of that Bruin offense. Tough to tell what either Nebraska or UCLA are going to look like when we get, again, that one is in November as well, November 8th. But the other one that I'm particularly interested in, well, two, Michigan State. Michigan State, that'll be the week after, Nebraska will have played Michigan, then get a week off, and then get Michigan State. So you don't want to lose after the bye week, but it's going to be interesting to see what they look like under their second-year coach, Jonathan Smith. Aiden Childs, everything that kind of goes into that. Sparty can get pretty good. They over the years have had some pretty good teams. So we'll see if they can kind of get back to that level. They're going to want to start expecting some results from Jonathan Smith. Here's one that I'm going to say that people aren't going to like. Cincinnati. Look out for Cincinnati. Yeah. Week 1, that could change the complete narrative of the season as Nebraska. They don't have the AP poll quite out yet, but might be top 25 team or just outside the top 25 would be if they beat Cincinnati. And that wasn't a great team last year, obviously, as we know, but who knows? Game 1, week 1, it's tough to tell.
Yeah, you're right. Somebody sent us a text box. Nebraska Cornhuskers 82 overall as a team, 85 on offense, 82 on defense. Ooh. It kind of changed it right there, Bock. I have to come up with, I'm gonna have to make me up a linebacker and put him in there. Or I gotta put something in there. Or I might make me a rush in.
Get that defense moving.
Moving
up.
Yeah, we got. I mean, I don't want this video game to dictate our season.
No, it won't.
That's and when I say that, sometimes it does.
Yeah.
So you have to watch out for that. Old Dad 34, what did y'all do to VJ? We didn't do anything on VJ. VJ's taking a break. VJ leg is obviously hurting him, and we try to give him a break before football season starts, and that's what we're doing right now. So right now is officially Bock in the black shirt with the captain planning on returning in August.
We overthrew him. That's what we did.
Yeah, we took him out.
He was the captain of the ship, and we made him walk the plank.
Yeah, Captain Hook. All right, clip the black shirt saying he plays with himself. Hey, Mr. Worldwide and Fallbrook. I'm out to Fallbrook. I know where Fallbrook at. I'm coming out that way. Bill and Bennett says taking shots at VJ black shirt. I bet that would make him mad, but it is true. 15. Gus Mohawk says 15-1 on the I'm coming against Penn State.
Says one loss against Penn State.
One luck comes down. We got 3 former head coaches on this team and talent to match. Watch out now, black shirt and red wings.
Well, he's excited. I mean, I don't know if I love it. I love for Gus Mohawk. Hopefully, he can kind of lead the charge as far as the Kool-Aid this offseason. 15-1.
I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking.
Not drinking too much of that Kool-Aid?
No Kool-Aid.
No.
I don't believe in that type of thing. Is right there. Either you're gonna do it or you don't. That's one mentality this team has to do. You're gonna go out here and play good, or you're not.
Now, do you like? And a lot of people have said, as you look at those rankings, the offense ranked a little bit ahead of the defense there. You like that going into the year? This is a defense that has had back-to-back top 25 defenses in the country. A lot of change, as we know, with a couple guys leaving, especially up front. Ty Robinson and Nash Hutmacher, and then obviously the change at defensive coordinator. Should we get used to the offense having to lead Nebraska?
Well, and when I say this is not the same defense that we're used to. First of all, last 2 years it was Tony White defense. This is the John Butler era. So we have to wait and see how John Butler coaches his defense. Is he a blitzing guy? Is he a sit and react guy? Or he's a put pressure on a third down type of guy. Yeah, it's a lot of things we have to figure out about this defense right here, especially losing most of the defensive line. We got new linebackers, new cornerbacks, new safeties. Yes, I would like the offense to lead the way for a couple of games so the defense can get under their feet and learn how to. Not saying they don't know how to play together, but in a game atmosphere.
Well, in the offense, obviously, a lot of excitement for Dylan Raiola in his second year. You hope he takes that big jump. But then I think Dana Holgorsen is the main reason why a lot of people think this offense is gonna get going. And I can't blame him. I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat, but it is one of those things. Just kind of wait till you see it, because the offense, obviously, 2 years ago was a work in progress. Last year, a little bit more reliable, but still. Yeah, still not an offense that was going to go out there and score 30, 31, 35 points a game and lead you to victory. So we'll see. I mean, this could be more of an equal team where we kind of get used to at times leaning more on the defense, leaning more one way or the other. It could be on a game-by-game basis.
Yeah. The conversation you and DP had about, 5 teams, 6 teams?
Yeah, we were talking about how there's generally in college football about 5 or 6 teams that can legitimately win the national title. I was wondering if you thought there's any different teams out there. Because we had Alabama, and DP and I had kind of different ideas. He had 4. So he says Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, and Oregon. I would throw Texas in there. I also think there's a few teams like Clemson and Notre Dame that deserve to probably be, if not there, on the outside. And then I also said LSU. I've seen 3 different head coaches win there in the last, 22 years? So, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I don't know if they got the right guy in place here. But
if you go by stats, you can say that Clemson is a national title contender.
Yeah.
Very strong defensive line, returning quarterback who's good. If you look at most of the magazines, they have it all.
Yeah.
Sure, we could say the ACC is not a top conference. They did lose and did they lose the ACC championship last year?
They won it ultimately.
They won
over
it.
SMU,
Oh yeah, they did beat SMU.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put SMU back up in that title hunt again this year. But you know, I can rock with Clemson. I can rock with Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State. I would put Penn State in there before I put Oregon in there.
Now, is it because it was kind of a year-to-year discussion, and I think Penn State does get a lot of that credit for this year. But do you believe that Penn State and James Franklin are ready to take that step? Now, obviously, Drew Aller, I mean, you can list off their running backs. Everybody on paper, this looks like the opportunity. Not just that Penn State is doing well. They invested a lot to get these guys back. But as we've mentioned before, it's not like they don't come in without questions. Abdul Carter, maybe the best defensive player in the nation. He's going to be tough to replace. And then Tyler Warren, the most productive tight end in the nation this past year. They got a couple wide receivers out of the portal, but I see like rankings of Penn State at like this magazine that I got in front of me. Lindy's has Penn State at number 2. That's ahead of Ohio State, ahead of Oregon. You think they're the favorites to win the Big Ten? Again, on paper, it's easy to argue, but once we get the games going.
I think this is James Franklin last time. I mean, I mean, talent wise. I mean, when you look at them, they still have a great defensive end that's coming back. Receivers, running backs, quarterback, they have it all. I mean, if you can't win it this year, this is your. I mean, like I said, I mean, this is last strike to me. And we say this every year about Penn State, and they get no closer. I mean,
well, they were a game away from the national title last year.
I mean, okay, yeah, but they
somewhat of a soft schedule to get into that position.
Yeah, they didn't take the road that Ohio State took.
No,
they didn't take a road that a Texas or Arizona State took. You know, to get there.
Yeah,
I mean, they basically who they played Boise State.
I think Boise State and SMU.
Yeah. I mean, and then you played at home. So I would like to see no more home games for playoffs. Let's get them all on the road.
Yeah, and that is the change. Obviously, this year we as we've talked about before, is that they not necessarily the home and away type of thing, but at least
this is why we call them bowl games.
Well, the seeding is going to be no longer is the Big 12 and the ACC or the top 4 conferences automatically get that top bid. It's going to be ranked, and I think that's perfect because that really threw off the seeding last year, and allowed Penn State. You know, Penn State was the benefactor.
7783 says Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a hit and miss. Hit and miss. They might play good for 9 straight games, be 9-0. Watch out for the next 2 or 3.
Yeah,
because they're gonna lose both of them.
Notre Dame?
No, Ole Miss.
No, I'm saying, what would you put Notre Dame in that conversation?
Notre Dame, yeah, I think they're up. I think Marcus
Freeman,
Marcus Freeman is doing a better job than we've seen. This is the person that was before him, and Brian Kelly. He's really got them like they should be. I would like to see him in the conference though eventually, but at the same time, Notre Dame's going to be here for the next 5 to 10 years, I think, in the top 5 of college football.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with this momentum that they have from it. And obviously, Jeremiah Love, the running back, might be the best running back in the nation. Any other? I'm gonna throw out a list of other names. You tell me if any of them it would make you think championship contender. Miami, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Arizona. South Carolina. You put them in there?
South Carolina is probably one of the teams that's going to shock you this year. Matter of fact, we're going to talk about them later on, and in a little quiz I got for you, Bock.
There you go. Big believer in Lenore Sellers. He could be the next big thing. Yeah.
All right. This is Bock at the Black Shirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at cobblecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
We're going to get up to 87 for a high temperature today, but we bring in a chance for some showers and thunderstorms this evening into tonight. Some of those could be strong to severe, with large hail and strong wind gusts being the main threats. We'll drop down to 67 tonight, maybe a morning shower tomorrow with a high of 86. Then we'll get up to 90 for a high on Wednesday. How about y'all just staring down for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Every home is different. Every family is different. So when it's time for a new heating and cooling system, why not get what fits you best? Get the perfect fit with Bryant. Maybe you need higher efficiency, better humidity control, increased warranty, or all the bells and whistles. Bryant provides options in warranty, features, comfort, and efficiency while maximizing savings. Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111, or visit BryantLincoln.com. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Bock and the Blackshirt right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Freaking Lincoln said, are you guys worried about the opener against Cincinnati? First game, some new players, neutral site, thoughts. Games like that scare me, especially when you think that a team like Cincinnati doesn't have anything. When you look at some of the scouting reports on it, they do have a great defensive line. They got a quarterback coming back. They don't have that many returning starters coming back, but with the NIL and things like that, watch out for, just the I call those blooper games, like guys lining up in the wrong spot, late calls, players not in position. Just the newbie guys can kind of mess that up.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Obviously, I mean, they've got, again, some they didn't have the results that they wanted to last year, but I keep going back to the fact they did beat Arizona State.
Yeah,
that was their last win of the year. They lost, I think, 5 after that. So again, not a great year for them. But even on a given week, if you can pop up and beat a playoff team, an Arizona State that won the Big 12, that'll be mighty interesting. And we talked about Dante Corleone as well, the big man, over 310. I have to look up. I mean, he's a big man in the middle. Could be interesting if Nebraska can't get the run game going against him. Now, although, to be fair, the rush defense last year, despite having him ranked like 88th in the nation. So it's like the texter said, anything as far as game one, it's tough to tell. And then I was kind of thinking too earlier today is, as we look at what teams struggled with last year, that's generally what you're going to try to attack. But it's also generally what they're trying to improve more, more focus on that than anything else. They've had some special teams problems too. So that game could come down to whose special teams unit has made the most progress over the offseason.
Yeah, you're right about that, Bock. Cupster says, I got Oregon winning it this year, and they'll bounce back after last year's beating. I mean, yeah, that's the only thing they can do. I mean, they beat – I wouldn't say they beat them fair and square, but I think Ohio State did come back and do something serious to them after that what we call it, a fluke play, interference or timeout, whatever happened at the end of that game. But, like I said, you still have to go through the Big Ten, and they did go undefeated last year. So, that's probably not going to be a problem for them this year, but you still have to go through the playoffs.
Well, we'll see. They did lose a wide receiver this offseason already in Evan Stewart. Their quarterback being Dante Moore, taking over, obviously, from their previous quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, who's just magnificent. I think we maybe underestimate how good he was. Remember, he's kind of the not great at anything, good at everything type of situation, which is why he fell in the draft a little bit. Still drafted before Shedeur Sanders out there. But I'm interested. I mean, Dante Moore had a good half a year at UCLA, then was replaced and transferred out. But as far as a young player, he was very exciting. The quarterback replacement is interesting there, but that's basically every team. And that's why a team like Penn State, like Clemson, with returning quarterbacks are getting so much love this offseason, because a lot of the major teams, including Oregon, don't have that luxury.
All right. Bill and Bennett, do you guys think Bill and Sip uses the phrase better times on early break just a little too much? Is it starting to get old for me? Do better, Bill and Sip. Well, every show has their own saying. I mean, those guys, that's their show. So, I don't debate about what other people say on their show.
Oh, come on, start a war. Let's start a war with early break.
No, we're not in a position. They're 3-2, Bock. I think they can take us. So, we don't have that third wheel anymore with the captain. So we have to sit back and just chill on this one. No, I think every show has their unique thing they do. And I like Bill and Sip and Jake them show. I learned a lot from listening to those guys. They are the marquee guys on this network. And then I just think that, whatever they do is for a good cause.
Yeah, I was kidding about it. Early break is fantastic, and so they're really good. But I also want to think too, when you say better times, and so maybe you kind of criticize them for that. But would you say that you would feel like today, you like 2025 better than 95, or your growing up experience? I think most people eventually get to a time where they say, yeah, you just enjoy growing up a little bit more. So you might, want to go back to your heyday.
I love 25. I love this.
Yeah?
This year.
Love
I mean,
the modern era?
I modern era. I have a grandchild that I wouldn't have in 95.
That's right.
But
Good outlook on it.
my kids are grown, and it's just, and I talk to my son every day like he's my best friend. So it's something I look forward to, just on down the road, just growing and watching my kids grow and watching my granddaughter grow up, and probably we'll add a couple of more to the family. It's not my decision right now, but trying to be a better person every day, man. I mean, you learn from our mistakes, we learn from the past, and we just try to be better at the things we do.
Yeah, and it's certainly, I don't know how often they say that, but it's certainly, if they're talking about Husker football, there have been better times than currently. So there's that.
Yeah. Early break. Oh, Crowbait says early break is the only show on 93.7 I want to listen to. However, Bock and the Blackshirt, the captain, are my favorite. Thank you so much, Crowbait. John and Cortland, Blackshirt, I got covered. Let's roll. All righty.
It's 3-on-3 again.
Yeah, it's 303. All right. So we're a battle of the shows here on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back with Bock and the Blackshirt.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey guys, you have heard about the Farrell's 10-week challenge for years on the ticket. If you still haven't joined us for this amazing challenge, what are you waiting for? You could be our next $1,000 winner like Derek, who just lost 30 pounds, 23 inches, and 8% body fat. Derek changed his life in the 10-week challenge, and so can you. Farrell's combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to get you the results you have been waiting for. Join us July 12th for the Summer 10-Week Challenge. Go to fxblincoln.com to enroll today.
Every home is different. Every family is different. So when it's time for a new heating and cooling system, why not get what fits you best? Get the perfect fit with Bryant. Maybe you need higher efficiency, better humidity control, increased warranty, or all the bells and whistles. Bryant provides options in warranty, features, comfort, and efficiency while maximizing savings. Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111, or visit BryantLincoln.com. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
and electrical.
Lights out? Let LES know where to go. Powerline matches your phone number to your service address so LES can respond to outages faster. Keep your information up to date at les.com/powerline.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Hi, I'm Asher. I'm summer break and about to start second grade. Thanks to awesome people like you who picked Aloe Fiber. They donated $193,000 to schools like mine. This summer, I'm using my fast internet to keep learning, and I can't wait to tell my teacher everything I discovered. So if you're a grown-up picking internet, choose Aloe, because Aloe chooses us, our schools, our town, and our future. Go to aloefiber.com to learn more.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley. Defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror. Number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for listening to Bock in the Blackshirt, 93.7 The Ticket. Oh, man. Old Dad says, Blackshirt, I started listening to the station because of you and Bock and VJ, and now I listen from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Thank you all. No, we thank you for listening. We thank everybody online that listens to the Bock in the Blackshirt, the Captain Show, every show that we put on here at 93.7 The Ticket. All right, Bock, you ready for some more?
I'm ready.
All right, just a little quick little rundowns I got, Bock. Class of 26 receiver, Devin Fitzgerald, son of 11-time Pro Bowler and second all-time season NFL receiving yards. Larry Fitzgerald commits to Notre Dame. We need to start getting some of these guys like this, I think, Bock.
Yeah, it's interesting. Larry Fitzgerald, one of my favorite players, obviously as a Cardinals fan. He was great there. So for his son to go to Notre Dame, didn't quite get him to Pitt, Larry's alma mater, but Notre Dame is, a similar colors, better program, so that'll work out. It's interesting because Notre Dame has really leaned into recruiting sons of legends. Jerome Bettis' son, Larry Fitzgerald's son, Jermichael Finley's son, Plaxico Burris' son, and Thomas Davis' son have all signed for Notre Dame in 2025 and 2026 class. So they're doing that. And also, I did want to throw this out there. Son of Rodney Harrison Christian Harrison will be playing for the Cincinnati Bearcats when Nebraska plays them. So
what position he plays?
He plays safety.
Oh, just like his dad. Ooh,
yeah.
hard
so
hitting.
might be a hard hitter. So look out for that. But you're right. Nebraska's been through at times, obviously Keyshawn Johnson Jr. being the most famous. Ben Miles, son of Les Miles. They've got some legacy players before. Of course, we know right now Wilson McGahee the fourth playing for Nebraska. So legacy players can work out well, especially with connections to Nebraska, but even just, as far as the recruit, even if they don't have the connections, sometimes you can get them in.
Yeah, I mean, I still like the guys like the old players we have, like Toby Wright's son, Javen Wright. He's got one more year here. He's coming as right. Didn't really get to see Michael Booker III pan out like he should have. I heard a lot of great things about him, but eventually things didn't go his way. So we have to, we still have a lot of players that's out there that kids or Steve Warren's son still out there. Hopefully, something works out with this. But, in case it don't, people still have to play football.
Well, obviously, I think Dominic Raiola's son might have something to do with how Nebraska does this year as well. So,
especially when we have Sioux kids get bigger. Hopefully, we can get them to Nebraska, and hopefully they can be like their dad. So, all right, Bock, I got something new for us right here. This is right here. This is the ACC year-by-year exit fees revealed after Florida State and Clemson settlement against the ACC for trying to get out early in the couple of years ago or last year. Now, this gets a very hefty buyout fee right here, Bock, to get out. If they want to leave in the 25-26 season, which is, I guess now, they would have to play $165 million. 26-27 season, $147 million. This each team, I mean, in the ACC, if they want to leave.
Yeah.
27-28 season, $129 million.
Going down a little bit.
Yeah. 28-29 season, $111 million. As long as you're in 100 and some million, I'll stay.
Yeah.
Now, this is where it gets tricky. 29-30, $93 million.
Okay. Starting to get more affordable.
30 to 36, $75 million. Think when they get, I leave in 30.
Yeah.
Cost the school $75 million. But what do you think about these fees that they tacked on? And if they did leave for, let's say, a Big Ten league, would the Big Ten help them out?
Yeah, that's the interesting part is when this kind of Florida State was basically on the forefront and saying, like, we're out, we're done. We're frustrated with this conference. And how could you blame them? They went undefeated through the ACC and didn't even get a bid to the college football playoff. Now, again, part of that had to do with the injury to Jordan Travis now 2 years ago, entering that 14 playoff, and certainly would have made the 14-team playoff last year. But it's interesting. But when they kind of have made this this known that they're kind of looking elsewhere, been reported that the Big Ten and the SEC aren't all that interested in those two particular institutions. Maybe more interest from the Big 12 would be North Carolina, Virginia. So it's kind of surprising if you kind of think of it from a football standpoint, because those are the top programs. Obviously, Florida State going through a little bit of it last year, but they're overall one of the top programs, certainly in the ACC and also in the country. But that's going to be a big part of it too, is kind of what would be the help that you get from the conference that you're leaving for. Who would be interested? I keep going back to this. I think the Big Ten at some point, and as we see this expansion, if it gets any bigger, you're kind of getting in. I mean, we're already at the Super League, but you're really talking, especially if you're breaking down the ACC from there, and then there may be somewhat like the Big 12 where you don't have any brand names. You wonder what the sport looks like in general. Right. So it's just kind of hard to kind of figure about that. That next round of conference realignment, if it goes through picking apart the ACC, it might be the last time that it's just kind of a standard, okay, how are we going to shift this stuff? Because from there, you almost need the seismic shift from just splitting the Big Ten and the SEC, and certainly the qualifiers to make the playoffs and that sort of thing. So I think all that's fascinating. And we'll see. Hopefully it holds off a few years. I think for a lot of us that want to see college football have be somewhat reminiscent of what we've seen in the past.
I would like to see college football just stay the same. Make college football fun again. That's what it's all about, fun. I mean, when you go to these games and when you go tailgate and when you watch these games, you're supposed to have fun. I mean, when I played football, Bock, I was a happy guy because I did something I liked. It was fun to me. I knew I wasn't getting any money. I was getting $18 after the game, and that was our per diem. But just to play the sport, to have fun, and that's what I always played the game for, fun. I mean, because a lot of people take it serious, but no, football is supposed to be fun, especially when you learn it as a little kid at the age of 7. You learn how to tackle. You learn the down set, hut 1, hut 2, hut 3. Things like that. It's supposed to be that sport. And when you catch that first pick, or you get a sack or run your first touchdown, it's memorable moments like that always made football fun to me. And it still was fun to me in college, scoring touchdowns and blocking punts, because I was doing something that I liked. I wasn't forced to block punts. I wasn't forced to sack the quarterback. It was something I wanted to do, and wanted to do it often instead of a little chance I can get.
Yeah, that is the unfortunate part, is that this, and DP and I were kind of going through this for the NFL, where back in the 50s, I think they made the average player was making $6,000, which would equate to about like 70 or 80,000 this year, which is in the year 2025, which is a good living, but it's not, the millions of dollars that they're getting paid now. And so it's kind of changing. And we were particularly talking about it in the frame of all-star games, where they almost, at one time it was so cool to get the best collection of talent to face each other. But now, if it's any sort of exhibition, it's hard to say with these huge contracts that's worth putting your players out there and on the line. So, as it comes back to college football, that's just kind of what we've seen is the big business of college football, the amount of money that's being thrown around. And now, certainly as we've gotten into the NIL era and all that, it's just too much. And then unfortunately, it's not too much for business. Money changes hands and all that. It's just, it takes away a little bit from just the play for the love of the game type of element, that I just don't know how often we're going to see that much. I mean, if you want to see that, you might have to go to kind of smaller colleges or the high school level.
Yeah, I mean, it's just some things about college football I really don't like. Like right now, you got all these $1 million quarterbacks. This, that. If Riola played when I played, oh man, he probably want to live a day just in the shoes of Tommy Frazier, because we didn't give Tommy no break. We went live on Wednesday. Like, Tommy got hit. So you telling me that, my quarterback is off limits? Okay, he's not off limits to other teams though. So when he do get hit, he can't take it, or when he do slide funny and still get hit and pop up in one fight, you do that because he don't have a lot of live activities. And I'm not saying kill the guy, but he still has to get wrapped up and taken down. And that's one of the soft spots of college football that I don't like.
Well, it's certainly changed from 2 days and all that sort of stuff to where we are now. Like you said, maybe hands off the yellow jerseys, that sort of stuff. It's part of the game evolving, but in some ways, like you said, it might devolve a little bit because of the toughness element or so it depends on what people like. And obviously, as we've seen over the years, college football, unfortunately, and that's why a lot of people, there are moves that are being made. The playoffs is fun. I do think the players do deserve to get paid something. I don't know if it, needs to be $5 million for 3 years.
50,000
like that.
50,000 a year.
Yeah.
I give everybody on the team 50,000 a year. I mean, I don't. It needs some type of cap to it. And when I say that, because there's no way that Carson Beck should be getting $6 million just for 1 year.
Yeah.
You go to the NFL for those numbers. What's his name? Manning kid. He shouldn't get $4 million a year. Deion Sanders' son shouldn't have got all that this year. I mean, they just make it that these people groom their kids to come to college to get NIL. Some of these kids may not ever touch the field.
Yeah, they might not. And that, again, that's part of the kind of the name, image, and likeness aspect of it. Like you said, the Shedeur Sanders of the world, that Arch Manning, just the sons of greats, and the intrigue behind them and the following on social media. It's crazy that the following on social media is direct, to what, some guys getting paid,
Must be some
spots.
Football savvy people to follow some kids on Instagram. And I am not following anybody. No, I take that back. I have Emmett Johnson on TikTok because I'm friends with Emmett in real life.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And I don't follow him just because of football. I follow him because he's a real person.
Yeah.
And when I say that, and he's probably only a handful of Nebraska players that I follow because Emmett is a great guy. He's a great person. And Emmett takes his time out to come to our camps. Sure. Don't charge us like other kids do. He comes out and him and Amon Green and Abdul, they have a great time talking and he feels comfortable in that conversation because I could call him my Nebraska brother.
Yeah.
Not Emmett. Come make you a couple of $100, man. No, Emmett got money. They're getting paid.
Yeah.
So why should I? Not saying why should I, but Emmett's the type of person where he could just come and relax and be himself around us.
Well, and that's a specific example, but that is part of what can be frustrating. I was talking over the weekend to some family members who wanted an autograph from a former Husker. I'll leave his name out of it. And it was just hard to get to him. And then once they did, it was like, okay, well, here's how much you have to pay for it. Where back in the day, obviously, you'd go to Fan Day. Terrell, how many autographs did you sign for free over your career?
Fan Day, I was at the leading table.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
But now it's every little act that a player does that feels like they have worth. They feel like they should be paid for it.
Yeah. And here's one
Not
thing.
everybody.
I got a text over the weekend. Guy texts me and say, hey, I got a group of kids I want you to come tell your story to. I stay in St. Paul, Nebraska. How much you going to charge me? Well, I said, I'm going to charge you. I'm just going to charge you a gas fee up there and back. That's the, not saying the lowest, but that's what I could do for you because, just gas money. I don't need $500, even though I need it, but I won't charge you that. Especially when it comes to kids, because I'm going to tell my story to them like, hey, this is what I want you to do. The persons you listen to are your coaches, your parents, teachers, principals, and you're going to make mistakes in life, but the best thing you could do is rebound from them. Don't let that problem go with you the rest of your life. And that's some things I tell kids like, hey, I had a problem and the way I messed it up, if I let my problem follow me for 20 years, I didn't try to stop because I was running from life. When I say that running for life, I was just living my life, and I didn't have a person to run to back then and tell my story, but now I can tell my story and try to impact some kids before they get out of hand or get too wild.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Bock, and let's go to this trending topic right here. I call this trending topics. AJ McCarron. You remember him?
Absolutely.
Alabama linebacker. They got Alabama quarterback. They have a podcast called The Dynasty Bama.
That's a good podcast name.
Yeah, him and Trent Richardson. And he talked about Anthony, Castile?
Thomas Castellanos.
Yeah, coming from Boston College to Florida State. And he said, what about Alabama? They was going to what, Bock?
So Castellanos has been very, very talkative in obviously transferring to Florida State. And so I can kind of look through it here, trying to recall what they said. He said they don't have Nick Saban to save them, if you remember. He says, I just don't see them stopping me. Castellanos said, as far as Alabama against Florida State in that week 1 matchup, he said he tore the ACC up by his damn self, and so he didn't give too much credit to his teammates out there at Boston College. So just a lot of bulletin board material that he was able to give Alabama as they prepare for that matchup, and AJ McCarron called him out for it.
Yeah, AJ told him, hey Thomas, you might want to stay quiet on this one. Said McCarron, just go out and play. Now you just added fuel to the fire, brother. I promise you, I wouldn't want to be you the first game of the season. You're right, and that's bulletin board material, especially with teams like Alabama. I mean, we used a lot of stuff against teams that especially we use it against Florida, with Steve Spurrier, with people saying we couldn't play on grass. They're too fast. Their offense is going to kill us. And, as a defense, we took that to heart. I mean, they did come out the first series, and I think kind of after I dropped that interception, they went down there and scored on us. So, after we calmed down, we ended up, we let the game tell the rest of the story.
Yeah, it is interesting because, McCarron was not He was not short. Obviously, on the podcast, you're going to say a lot of different things, but yeah, he was not short on commenting on this. Said a lot of different things. He said, you're going to a team that was 17th out of 17 teams in the ACC. You're leaving a team and lost the starting job where you finished 9th in the ACC. Says, I'm all for confidence, but this is stupidity. Just ask if he still has a relationship, which I doubt since he yanked him from the starting job, Bill O'Brien. Call him up. Ask Bill how Alabama is, what type of players they have, how they play the game. Let him tell you. So he says, if I'm a guy like Thomas, keep your mouth shut, go to work, and let your play do the talking. He says, now that you've ran your mouth, you better back it up at the game or you're going to hear about it all year, and you might lose your job again and have to enter the transfer portal once again. So he kept going off on him, which is fair.
Bill O'Brien, didn't he coach at Alabama?
He did. He was offensive coordinator there for some time.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. I think that was in the 90s, wasn't it?
No, this was after his
after he came back from the NFL?
Yeah. The short stint there, I believe. I can look it up to make sure. I can't remember exactly what years he was there, but they had success with Bill O'Brien there. And he's
all right. Gus Mohawk says, call me crazy, but I think hold on, it's not loading yet. Well, yeah, okay, here you go. He said, call me crazy, but I think this year is going to be different than hype years before. Talent on the field, coaches that won't shoot themselves in the foot, and with Rule being able to overlook the whole team and BS CEO. I think the Corner Hustlers will surprise the nation. Look at every other Matt Rule third-year team. Well, history doesn't repeat itself. That's one thing it doesn't do. So, Matt Rule still has to go out here and coach this team. This Baylor year 3 was great. Temple year 3 was great, but it's the Big Ten. That's the only thing I'm going to say.
Yeah, but I appreciate the Kool-Aid, and he is right. I mean, year 3, that's why there's such an expectation for Matt Rule. His year 3s have popped, and I've said this before over and over again. Nebraska did not hire Matt Rule for 2023, not the 2023 season. Yeah, he coached it, but and they had hopes and excitement and all that, but they hired him for the year 2025 and beyond. And here we are, because that's what his resume said is when he's going to turn it around. We'll see, though, because it's easy just to say year 3, Matt Rule pops. When you look at kind of what's going on here at Nebraska, of course, there's plenty of reasons. Check them all, and we go through them all the time, why Nebraska should take that jump. But, I mean, how many other year 3s, I wondered, did he have a new offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator coming in?
The same season.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different. And then, like you said, in the Big Ten,
then you have the transfer portal. Then you have the 105 limit. Then everything's about money. Yeah, we picked up steam in the recruiting war, but we got to pick up steam on the football field when it's time to do it. We can't make the silly mistakes. We can't make the silly throws. We got to establish a run game. We have to play physical defense. We have to get sacks, get off the field on 3rd and down, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What we've been doing for the last 3 years, we couldn't do.
Yeah, and they did. Again, they don't have to necessarily be world beaters if they can take marginal steps forward, kind of depending on what your goals are. If you want to get to that 9 wins, that 9-win minimum, which apparently is at Nebraska, as they fired 2 9-win coaches over the years, maybe feeling a little bit of that. Maybe that minimum has dropped down after 10 years of not reaching that since 2016, almost 10 years. But in any case, to reach that, I don't know if they have to take these huge strides forward, but you have to stay. The defense is going to have to stay where it was, which is a big question on them.
We got to take a bigger step.
And maybe take a step forward. The offense has to take quite a step forward.
Oh, they got to take 5.
The special teams has to take a big step forward as well.
Yeah, they got to take leaps.
But even as much holes as that team had last year, yes, they won 7 games, but they were a catch away against Illinois from winning that game, right? There's a few games we can kind of point out and say they could have won with just this one more play. And so that's why I said you don't have to be world beaters. You have to make the most strides in the world to get to that 9 wins. Now, if you're talking about competing with Oregon and Ohio State and Penn State for the top of the league, then they're going to have to take some real significant strides, and we'll see if they're able to do that. Obviously, a lot of people feel pretty confident in the coaching staff that despite being a little bit new, some of these pieces that Matt Rule has put together.
How many games does Nebraska has to win to go to the playoffs? Realistic. 10-2.
Yeah, 10.
You got to go 10-2 if you want to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
period. I talked to somebody about that earlier. I said 93 probably won't get you in there. It'll be honorable mention, probably on the outskirts looking in. But if you really want to go to the playoffs, you got to go 10-2.
Yeah.
You got to
with
go.
the schedule. We'll see how it plays out, but yeah.
Yeah, especially with this schedule. 10-2 is what you got to do. All right, this is Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We are powered
by
Bauer.
Infrastructure.
Bauer.
Underground.
Brad
Excavating.
Excavating. Shout out to Big Slim and the Bauer guys out there working hard today. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, you have heard about the Farrell's 10-week challenge for years on The Ticket. If you still haven't joined us for this amazing challenge, what are you waiting for? You could be our next $1,000 winner like Derek, who just lost 30 pounds, 23 inches, and 8% body fat. Derek changed his life in the 10-week challenge, and so can you. Farrell's combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to get you the results you have been waiting for. Join us July 12th for the Summer 10-Week Challenge. Go to fxblincoln.com to enroll today.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Hi, I'm Asher on summer break and about to start second grade. Thanks to awesome people like you who picked Aloe Fiber. They donated $193,000 to schools like mine. This summer, I'm using my fast internet to keep learning, and I can't wait to tell my teacher everything I discovered. So if you're a grown-up picking internet, choose Aloe, because Aloe chooses us, our schools, our town, and our future. Go to aloefiber.com to learn more.
Are kids better off in an intact family? You bet they are. This is Joe Cordell of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. Kids living in a household with married parents do better in school, they're emotionally healthier, and they're more likely to stay out of trouble with the law. If you're in a troubled marriage, of course you should do everything you can to save your marriage, if only for your kids' sake. This includes considering alternatives to divorce. Of course, in some circumstances, divorce is unavoidable. In either case, if you're a man facing a crisis in your marriage, let us help you at Cordell & Cordell. Remember, we're the partner men can count on.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln, Cordell & Cordell, 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska, 68508.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
and electrical.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay. Playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Lights out? Let LES know where to go. Powerline matches your phone number to your service address so LES can respond to outages faster. Keep your information up to date at les.com/powerline.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
All right. Side note, Gus Mohawk says, I'm starting to like the Iowa Hawkeyes rivalry. Was at the in-laws' house over the weekend with a bunch of Hawkeyes fans, and it got a little spicy. Also went to the night game last year on Black Friday. It was toxic, and I love rivalries. This one felt forced, but now it's for real. Good thing you say that, Gus Mohawk, because I got a list of some of the best rivalries in college football, and you won't believe where Nebraska's at on this list when we talk about these rivalries. Now, Bob, the top rivalry, of course, everybody knows this game right here. I think the top rivalry in college football goes to Michigan and Ohio State.
Yeah, fair enough, especially with the game's been elevated over the last decade or so with both programs competing for the top. Obviously, throw out the records, it's always been a great rivalry, but at times, obviously, it kind of feels like some of these other rivalries. I know that's going to be second and third, maybe have taken that top spot, but as of right now, I have to agree.
Yeah. Now, this is a top 25. These are 25 of the best rivalry games in college football ever. So, number one, Michigan, Ohio State. Number two, Auburn, Alabama, the Iron Bowl.
Absolutely. That's what I was kind of referring to, is at times that one maybe with the importance of the game, kind of the Cam Newton era, up until like 2014 or so, those games might have felt like the biggest games of the year. But Auburn struggled as of late, but still one of the biggest rivalries. And we've seen some spectacular moments, even with Auburn not being great over the last couple years.
Oklahoma, Texas. The Red River Shootout.
It's called the Red River Rivalry.
Shootout.
You can't say shootout.
Oh, why not?
I'm just kidding. Well, well, that's part of college football too, is, as you know, with Georgia and Georgia.
You can't say you can't say shootouts, but you got kids out there shooting pop guns on the field. Pop, they pulling out machine guns and pop guns and everything.
That was part of the college football that was fun too, was back in the day you could say things like that. Now everything had to become kind of politically correct. My favorite one is Georgia Tech. A good, clean, old-fashioned hate is what they call that one. So some of these rivalry names are great, and Red River Shootout was one of them. It is one of them. We'll still call it that.
All right, this one is the Battle of the Servicemen. We can call that one that one. Army, Navy.
DP, I know, would argue with that one as number one. He's been to some of those games there, and I would say it's got its own weekend, so it's definitely got to be up there.
Yeah, but it's not exciting as the other games are. I mean, especially when especially when they wasn't ranked.
Yeah, it doesn't have the relevance.
It has that pizzazz, like
the importance of a top
Michigan, Michigan versus Ohio State.
Yeah.
All right, number 5, USC Notre Dame. Always been a good one.
Yeah, they're threatening to take it away from us, but yeah.
Oh, boo. Nebraska, Oklahoma. Now, when you talk about Nebraska, Iowa, there's no comparison to Nebraska, Oklahoma. This goes back to 72 when 70, 71, 72, game of the century. Tom Osborne loses in what? I forgot which one that was. But these are rivalry games that you will never be able to replace.
Well, and to see it still ranked 6th here in the good year of our good Lord 2025, all these years after, you got to go back to 96. So, almost 30 years ago when they played year in and year out, and for it to have the staying power that it did, I appreciate this. This is the Athletic that ranks these rivalries. And I just appreciate that because I thought that it would have fallen quite a bit just because they didn't play. Now, they have obviously had some matchups on the field each of the last couple of, in a few of the last couple of years, I should say, to kind of help bring that back. But that's speaking heavily to how much that game mattered for decades, and it did. And then, obviously for a Nebraska standpoint too, is just kind of looking, and you will get to it, but there's a few different Nebraska rivalries on here. For Nebraska, Oklahoma still to be number one. I think that a lot of the fan base would say that, especially a lot of the older fan base. But then there's a lot of the younger fan base that just never was able to experience this at the top of the game of which it was, which is even, you kind of go back to the 2001 Eric Crouch catch all the way up until Nebraska leaving the Big 12, in 2010, which was the final, Nebraska, Oklahoma played for the championship. Obviously, Nebraska didn't win, so we don't hold that in as high as regard, but it's just sad that rivalry is not played every year.
Yeah, because these kids don't understand what the Big 8 is.
Yeah.
They don't even know what the Big 8. What's the Big 8?
Yeah.
There's 8 teams in the conference. So you have to break it down to
It's hard to tell somebody that sees now 18 teams in a conference.
Yeah. All right, number 7. Miami versus Florida State. Always been a good one.
Yeah, a lot of field goal drama in that one.
Yeah. Number 8, Penn State versus Ohio State.
See, I thought this one's a little high. I like Ohio State and Penn State. It's always an interesting
Should be in the
matchup.
mid-20s.
Yeah, I don't know if it's as high as some of these other ones that they have listed here.
Florida State, Florida.
That one would be a good example. Yeah. Miami, Florida State, Florida. You throw any mix of those three when they were at the top of the game.
I would take out
90s.
Army and Navy and replace them with Florida State and Florida. All right, Minnesota, Wisconsin.
There you go. Little Big Ten trophy game action. Not my favorite trophy game, but definitely one with a lot of history, and there is a lot of hate there.
All right, Alabama, Tennessee.
Yeah, 3rd week in September. I would have put this one probably a little bit higher.
Yeah, Georgia, Florida. The world's biggest outdoors cocktail, whatever.
World's largest outdoor cocktail party. Yeah. They play it in Jacksonville every year, split stadium. I would have ranked this higher.
Yeah, me too. Alabama, LSU.
Yeah.
They're number, what number is this? 13? That's about right.
That feels about right. They're not like the top rivalries of each school. It doesn't feel like, or at least maybe they are. I mean, this is the first time LSU appears on the list, but I think that always hurts in that conversation.
All right, Auburn, Georgia.
Yes, people, and this is one that people don't acknowledge as much because they didn't play a similar thing with the SEC when they went East and West. They didn't play every year, but those schools, despite not playing every year, hate each other. Georgia's got a lot of teams they hate, but that's one that's underrated, I think.
Texas A&M.
Oh, yes. And that's another, when they got back to the SEC, that's when a lot of people were excited to get back on board. That's when they play around Thanksgiving. Yeah. And again, similar thing as I was saying before, the one problem with some of these rivalries is once you get Texas, I think, is on their the second mention on the list here. Once you kind of get repeating some schools, that if you're not your school's top rivalry, the other school's top rivalry, there's a bit of an imbalance there.
USC, UCLA.
Fair enough.
All right, Michigan, Notre Dame.
One of my favorites. This would be higher if they played every year. And again, Notre Dame's kind of went off to the ACC to play those games more often. But that would, as far as like favorites, that'd be a top 5 for me.
All right. Harvard, Yale.
Similar to Army, Navy. I mean, the rivalry.
Yeah.
It's just are they playing top 5 battles every year? Not necessarily.
Kansas, Missouri.
Love it. I love that gets some action here this high on the list, especially that 2007 version where I think it was number 1 versus number 2, or at least at the time, default number 1 versus number 2 after a loss over the weekend for the number 1 team.
Iowa, Wisconsin.
Yeah, like it. Again, another Big Ten trophy game there.
Washington, Oregon.
Yeah, a little bit of a rivalry moving to the Big Ten.
Oh, they're right where they're supposed to be.
Kind of surprising.
21.
We don't have the Civil War in there before that.
Yeah, which one is that one?
Oregon State.
No, they don't have that one.
Yeah.
All right. Ole Miss, Mississippi State.
Yes, I do love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clemson, South Carolina.
Yeah, another one that's played on rivalry weekend.
Oklahoma State.
There you
Battle
go.
of the Okie State.
We don't have that anymore. Again, with Oklahoma leaving the SEC, sadly, that's no longer a yearly matchup.
All right, that's it on that one, Bock.
So they listed that. I do have a few more because they listed the top 100.
Mhm.
So just so you know where some of these other ones fall, because Nebraska's got a few. Nebraska. What do you think is next after Nebraska, Oklahoma, the next biggest rivalry?
Colorado.
That is correct. Nebraska, Colorado lands at 33rd on the list.
Yeah.
One ahead of Minnesota, Iowa, my favorite trophy game, the Floyd of Rosedale there. But fair enough. Like we said, Nebraska, Colorado has played some very important games over the year, and I'll continue to say.
You let me name the other one?
Yeah, one more. For
Nebraska, Kansas State.
No, this is at number 44 on the list.
No, Nebraska, Iowa.
Nebraska, Iowa already makes it on the list, which, to the texter's point, it feels a little bit more real over the last couple of years. It felt forced to begin with. And then what needed to happen in this rivalry was that Iowa needed to show that they were worthy of being Nebraska's rival. And unfortunately, they've done that with Nebraska struggling over the years. So they're already 44th. That's ahead of, let me ask you if you feel this way, because Nebraska, Iowa is ranked ahead of a few of these other rivalries that I feel like is a little, although I'm liking the Nebraska-Iowa rivalry, I feel like it's a little bit ahead of where it needs to be here. So Nebraska, Iowa rated 44th on this list. Indiana, Purdue at 49. That's an in-state battle they've been playing for 100 years.
Yeah, but
Old Oak and Bucket.
I don't like either one of those teams.
Yeah, so you'd still put Nebraska, Iowa ahead of it?
Yeah.
How about Clemson and Florida State?
That's a good one.
That's ranked at 52nd.
That should be in the top 30.
Yeah, I would agree there. 53rd. We've talked about Georgia's rivalries before. Tennessee, Georgia.
Oh, no. That should be top 22.
I agree. That's a huge rivalry.
What they got that?
Big deal. 53rd.
Oh, my God.
Other ones that are surprisingly Nebraska, Iowa is ahead of that I listed here. Arizona State, 54th. That ends up in a fight just about every year they play.
Yeah.
Not always the greatest teams, but still, I would say a heavier rivalry than Nebraska, Iowa. And then Kansas State at 59th.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, good matchup. So surprised, but it's good news that Nebraska, Iowa is rising up the rankings of rivalries, because I agree. Iowa does feel a lot more like a rivalry than what we expected when we joined the Big Ten.
All right, old dad, you said Florida State, Miami. They are, which one are they, Bob? Old dad, they are number 7. So yeah, Florida State, Miami is number 7 on this list.
Wide right.
Yeah. Yes, sir. All right, 93.7 The Ticket, Bock in the black shirt. We are coming up with the last segment, and we're going to make it a good one right here when we come back on 93.7 The Ticket.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
and electrical.
Are kids better off in an intact family? You bet they are. This is Joe Cordell of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. Kids living in a household with married parents do better in school, they're emotionally healthier, and they're more likely to stay out of trouble with the law. If you're in a troubled marriage, of course you should do everything you can to save your marriage, if only for your kids' sake. This includes considering alternatives to divorce. Of course, in some circumstances, divorce is unavoidable. In either case, if you're a man facing a crisis in your marriage, let us help you at Cordell & Cordell. Remember, we're the partner men can count on.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln, Cordell & Cordell, 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska, 68508.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Lights out? Let LES know where to go. Powerline matches your phone number to your service address so LES can respond to outages faster. Keep your information up to date at les.com/powerline.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Hi, I'm Asher on summer break and about to start 2nd grade. Thanks to awesome people like you who picked Aloe Fiber. They donated $193,000 to schools like mine. This summer, I'm using my fast internet to keep learning, and I can't wait to tell my teacher everything I discovered. So if you're a grown-up picking internet, choose Aloe, because Aloe chooses us, our schools, our town, and our future. Go to aloefiber.com to learn more.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at copplecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G1877747, and G1965999.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Boom. Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. Bock, give us the news that we was looking for, Bock.
Yeah, a little Nebraska news, nothing too big, but it is kind of interesting. The Nebraska-Cincinnati game at Arrowhead Stadium has now been named the Kansas City Classic. And the organizers are now hoping that they will have many more Kansas City Classics down the line. Battle Sports, which is based in Omaha, will be the title sponsor for the event. So it'll be Battle Sports Kansas City Classic. And you got to wonder with the Omaha connection, maybe that's just this year, I'm not sure. But with Kansas City being so close, is this the first of many years in which we'll see Nebraska play in the Kansas City Classic if they continue this?
Well, it was a week 0. I understand it. I would love to go for a week 0, but I don't want to go there the first game every year. Sometimes I would like just the first game to be in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Well, and I don't mind it. I like the way they set it up. Is that it's not Nebraska's? It's not a home game for Nebraska, right? This is Cincinnati's home game that they're taking away. So if you do that every year, it's an extra home game, which is a short drive for Nebraska fans. I wouldn't mind it as long as it's counted as an away game.
All right. John and Cortland says Missouri, Kansas.
Yes, we have that on the list.
They really get nasty.
Yes.
Nebraska, Missouri. Some good games there late in the 2000s.
Yeah, they played for the victory bell.
Yeah, I would like that. All right, Bock, I got this thing right here. I'm not going to tell you where I got it from, but 5 college teams that can shock everyone in 25 seasons. Number 1, South Carolina Gamecocks. Lenora Sellers, one of my favorite players I like to watch, really caught an eye for him last year when he was growing as he played last year. A physical, gifted passer with real upside. He's surrounded by young talent and a balanced roster. What do you think about them, number 1?
Yeah, I like it. I love their head coach. He's kind of fun to watch. Shane Beamer, and obviously Lenora Sellers almost feels like in a year void of obvious Heisman Trophy contenders, a guy that might be able to move up with just kind of his flashy play and exciting things he could do it on the field. I will say this, and they've had some really good defenders there over the years, but they did lose the SEC Defensive Player of the Year in Kyle Kennard coming off the edge there. So they do have a little bit to replace. Also lost the bowl game to Illinois and Brett Bielema. Do
they still have that big kid, tight end kind of receiver? He's real big and fast. He was running like crazy last year.
I'm not sure. I'd have to look if they've
All
got
right.
him.
Number 2, Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Hey, there you go.
Second-year quarterback with Dylan Raiola. If Raiola settles in quickly this year, Nebraska could be a team nobody sees coming in the Big Ten.
Love to get some attention there. We all expect it. We all hope for it. We expect it.
I love it because if Dylan has the opportunity to settle in the first game and carry this on to a 12-game thing, 12-game. However you say it, but 12 games in a row.
Yeah.
I think we have to score at least 40 points a game, at least 42 points a game, just because of not a downsize on the defensive line, but a growing defensive line. You have to grow. They're gonna have to grow into that role.
Yeah, we'll see. Their schedule sets up. Hopefully that the defense can kind of get its footing. Hopefully, Cincinnati won't be the biggest challenge. They've got a quarterback coming back. They like to rely on a run game, but a lot of new wide receivers and a new running back. So we'll see what Cincinnati can provide as far as that defense goes. But hopefully they can kind of get their footing going. Even their first game, kind of big game after that, Michigan doesn't provide much of a passing threat, at least as of last year. We'll see what Bryce Underwood does. But I think there's some chance for that defense to grow and get their footing. And if Nebraska's offense can do the same, they could be a dangerous team by that Michigan game. You win that game.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah, and then who knows? I mean, they'd probably be a top 15 team at that time.
All right, number 3, Texas Tech. Might be one of the most complete teams in the new look Big 12. Spent a lot of money last year, Bock, and still spending a lot. So we'll see if money is everything right here when we talk about this spending habit they had during the offseason.
Yeah, there's just about everybody is noticing Texas Tech and what they're pouring into that football team and that university, that athletic department. We'll see. Is it this year? Is this the year that you kind of take off? They have to replace Taj Brooks, who was one of the better running backs in the nation last year. I think he had like 1,600 yards, which was mighty good, or 1,500 yards. So we'll see. I don't know. I get it. A lot of people pick them in the Big 12, so I get that.
All right, Bock, look up Nikhil Harbor from South Carolina, and I'll go with the next one because I think that's who I was talking about. All right, Bock, number 4, Georgia Tech. Beat Clemson last year. Getting better and better each year. I think their coach is pretty good. I think Georgia Tech is looking up instead of looking down. Second best team in the state of Georgia.
Yeah, I like Georgia Tech. That's a good pick there. They've got a really good quarterback returning. I think they're like one of in Haynes King. I think they've got a pretty strong running game returning as well. So I think Georgia Tech, I might even move them up on this list ahead of Texas Tech at least. And for what it's worth, Nick Harbor, it will be a sophomore this year. 6'5", 235 receiver.
Yeah, that's him.
That's him.
That's him. That's him right there.
That's a big guy.
That kid can right there. He can get it. He can get it. All right, Bock, number 5. Florida Gators. One word. DJ Lagway. The 5-star sophomore has game-breaking talent and has the young weapons to go with it.
Yeah, we'll see if that schedule.
If they can get away with this schedule, you looking at a coach that goes from the hot seat to probably getting a pay raise again. So you have to see what the outcome of Florida schedule would take. DJ Lagway, we've been hearing about this kid since last year. Split time last year, didn't really get a grasp of the offense. I think he got hurt late in the season, but he's returning with a group of talent and a team that's looking to redeem themselves in the SEC that we thought was left for dead last year.
Yeah, 4 starters returning on that offensive line should help Lagway out. They did well in the portal. They did well in bringing in some freshman recruits that could help in there. They're just in the same boat as Oklahoma as me. They can be really talented. You kind of got a coach that's because they haven't lived up to the program standards, and then that schedule is so tough.
Yes, sir. All right, this is Bock and the Blackshirt, and we are signing off from 93.7 The Ticket here on 1040 O Street. We'll see you tomorrow, Tuesday, here at 1 o'clock. Be here or be square.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Hi, I'm Asher on summer break and about to start 2nd grade. Thanks to awesome people like you who picked Aloe Fiber. They donated $193,000 to schools like mine. This summer, I'm using my fast internet to keep learning, and I can't wait to tell my teacher everything I discovered. So if you're a grown-up picking internet, choose Aloe, because Aloe chooses us, our schools, our town, and our future. Go to aloefiber.com to learn more.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields.